from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News on Rupavahini ChannelEye. I'm Delanjali Ananda.
I'm Nikhil Ratna, and we'll start off with the headlines as usual.
The President says the government intends to pass the Best Anti-Corruption Act in South Asia in Parliament soon. The election date is further postponed. The first egg consignment from India arrives in Sri Lanka. Imported milk powder prices decline. A kilo of milk powder reduced by 200 rupees. 400 grams reduced by 80 rupees. Several companies agree to reduce a pack of urea by 7,000 rupees. A 30,000 rupee allowance for 48,000 low-income earning farmer families in this Yala season. The President emphasizes students will not be allowed to be held hostage by various groups. A 2-year imprisonment for Rahul Gandhi.
Now for those and other stories in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says the government intends to take necessary action to pass the Best Anti-Corruption Act in South Asia in Parliament in near future.
The President made these remarks during a discussion held with the heads of media institutions at the Presidential Secretariat in Colombo this evening. The objective of the discussion was to brief the media over the agreement reached between the International Monetary Fund and the government of Sri Lanka. Accordingly, the President briefed the roadmap of the government for the economic recovery of the country.
හැමදාම තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් මේක निराකරණය කරගන්න ඔබතුමාට දෙන්න පුළුවන් සහතිකය මොකද්ද රටේ සමාජයට මේ ලැබුණු සල්ලි අරගෙන
President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that his objective is to transform the nation into an upper income earning country by 2048. He said that the country cannot progress ahead with a standstill economy. He added that all issues which occurred in the past have contributed to the prevailing issue. He said that the first task of the government was to obtain the approval from the IMF and then proceed ahead with the restructuring process. He said that they will learn how to make the loan repayments after completing the restructuring process. He added that the country never saw through the program as those measures were overshadowed by politics or media-infused public mandate. Therefore, the President requested media organizations to successfully complete this program. Furthermore, President Wickremesinghe said many claimed he was appointed to the executive to protect thieves.
Process is tough, very tough. You all are feeling it, we are all feeling it. And it's a 4-year, we'll finish off by 2026, 4 years.
This is with regard to the domestic debt restructuring, which we are not very clear about. Can you provide some insight into it?
In terms of sequencing, that we are not got there yet. Because first step, as you already know, this we got the financing assurance from official creditors. And we have already engaged in good faith with commercial creditors, external commercial creditors. The next step is to continue that process and come to an agreement with them, and then based on the negotiations, then we will look at how we can bring down the debt to DTP ratio, bring those targets on the basis of discussions and negotiations. It's too early to talk about it. I think the only thing I can assure, I have been telling even earlier, any kind of debt restructuring, even the external creditors as well as from our side, we are confident we can maintain the finance system stability. So that is the paramount objective from our side, that we will ensure financial system is stable.
Governor, there were media reports, foreign media reports, which said that there was a group of ISB holders who had expressed willingness to restructure ISBs. Has such intention been communicated to the central bank? And if so, have there been any discussions? And what's the progress? And
we have not come to that stage. So we are seeing the media, this thing, there is a positive thing. Commercial creditors are willing to negotiate in good faith. That's what they have indicated. That's a positive sign. So this is a process. Once we get the financing assurance from official creditor, the next process is to engage with them and start negotiating that part. So this is where we are.
Now, the Election Commission says that the decision over the date of the local government polls will be reached in the future after studying the suggestions presented during the meeting held with the political party secretaries today and the legal provisions pertaining to the conducting of an election.
Accordingly, a decision has been reached not to conduct the postal voting on the scheduled dates of March 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st and April 3rd. The Election Commission said that secretaries of the political parties presented many proposals pertaining to the election during the meeting. The Election Commission in a statement said that as per the suggestions presented by the political party secretaries, the new election date should be declared after ensuring the availability of all necessary facilities and an environment conducive to hold an election. The statement has further indicated that secretaries have pointed out that the elections should not be postponed under any circumstances, considering the interim orders issued by courts pertaining to cases filed over the conducting of the election on scheduled dates. The statement has also said that the date for the election will be decided following the discussions with the legislature, the executive and other relevant entities.
The first consignment of eggs imported from India reached the country today. The eggs imported with all relevant certifications will be issued in the next couple of days following Health Ministry testing. 2 million eggs have been imported under the first consignment. The price of eggs increased immensely in the last couple of days. Accordingly, the government decided to import eggs from India with the intention to control the high price rates. The first consignment of eggs reached the country today under this initiative. Eggs will be provided to bakery industry related products at concessionary rates. Minister Nalin Fernando said that another couple of days will be taken to complete the testing on the egg consignment. He said that the relevant consignment will be distributed among the public within the next 2 days.
Now, Milk Powder Importers Association decides to reduce the price of imported milk powder from next Monday. Accordingly, the price of a kilo of imported milk powder in the market will reduce by 200 rupees. Member of the Milk Powder Importers Association, Lakshman Veerasurya, said that the 400-gram milk powder packet price will reduce by 80 rupees. The current rate of a 400-gram milk powder packet imported from various countries is between 1,130 and 1,240 rupees. A kilo of milk powder is between 2,895 and 3,050 rupees in the market at present. More than 95,000 tons of milk powder has been imported into the country last year. According to the statistics, the amount has drastically declined this year due to the increasing public interest in the use of liquid dairy milk and local milk powder. However, Milko and Pelvatta milk powder companies have said that a decision is yet to be reached over the price revision in local milk powder. Chairman of Milko, Renuka Pereira, said that steps will be taken to issue milk powder to the market from next month. Meanwhile, Chairman of Pelvatta Dairy Company, Arya Sheila Vikramanayaka, said that their production is currently at its maximum capacity and this has enabled high income earnings to dairy farmers in the country. The several private companies have agreed to reduce the price of urea fertilizer by 7,000 rupees. The Ministry of Agriculture made these remarks in an announcement today.
Accordingly, the representatives of the companies during a meeting with the minister agreed to sell a 50-kilo pack of urea fertilizer, which was at 18,500 rupees, at 11,500 rupees. The Ministry of Agriculture said that attention has been directed to further reduce the price of a fertilizer pack. The government provides 10,000 rupees to farmers to purchase fertilizer packs at present. Now, President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasizes that students will not be allowed to be held hostage by various groups.
He said that a bill to make schools as essential service will be submitted to Parliament if the issues are not resolved promptly. The President made these remarks during the national ceremony held at Sangamita Balika Vidyalaya in Colombo to distribute free textbooks and uniforms to students and novice monks this morning. In this event organized by the Ministry of Education, the President symbolically awarded textbooks and uniforms to 40 novice monks and students. 70% of the school uniforms for this year were received as a grant from the Chinese government. President Wickremesinghe has said that continuation of educational activities and examinations cannot be stopped or sabotaged. Therefore, he said that he expects the remaining issues will be resolved soon, and if not, the government will be compelled to table the draft to declare education as an essential service in Parliament. He said that the students will not be allowed to be held hostage by various groups. Therefore, he said that he hopes for the relevant stakeholders to engage in discussions and ensure the quality educational system for the benefit of the children. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says the sacrifices of the public is essential at this juncture to be free from the debt crisis. The minister made these remarks during a media briefing held at the Government Information Department today. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that only the approval of the debt restructuring process has been received. He said that with the fund facility, Sri Lanka has yet again managed to regain the confidence from the international community as a nation which is able to make the repayments. He said that without the assistance from the IMF, any government would not have been able to prevail for more than 2 weeks. He added that all have to make certain sacrifices in order to overcome the present situation and leave a country for the future generations.
The Ministry of Finance, Economic Stabilization and National Policies has taken steps to establish a state-owned enterprises restructuring unit. The relevant unit was established following a discussion reached by the Cabinet of Ministers on the 13th of March. The objective of this unit is the divestment of shares held by the state-owned enterprises. The government is in the process of implementing deep economic reforms, including in the state-owned enterprise sector. Priority will be given for state-owned commercial enterprises which have become a financial burden to the Sri Lankan economy for many years. Such reforms are intended to enhance competition, productivity and efficiency across the economy. Accordingly, Sri Lankan Airlines and Sri Lankan Catering, Sri Lankan Telecom plc, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited, Canwell Holdings Private Limited, Hilton Hotel Colombo, Litrogas Company and Lanka Hospitals plc will be prioritized in the restructuring process under the first phase of the initiative. To assist with such divestments, the state-owned enterprises restructuring unit seeks to employ reputed, qualified and experienced firms to provide transaction advisory services.
And the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says that the fullest cooperation will be extended to successfully fulfill the reconciliation process in Sri Lanka. The South African President made these remarks during a meeting with Ministers Ali Sabri and Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. Minister Ali Sabri is on a working visit to South Africa from March 21st to 25th. Minister Sabri is accompanied by Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. This visit is in line with Sri Lanka's stated policy, including at international fora, that it remains committed to addressing reconciliation through domestic mechanisms. In support of this process, the South African government invited the foreign minister to visit South Africa to obtain insights with regard to the South African experience in the establishment of their truth-seeking commission. During the visit, the Sri Lankan delegation, led by the ministers, was able to meet the South African president. Speaking to the delegation, the South African president said that he was pleased to learn that Sri Lanka was referring to the progress achieved through the South African peace process to fulfill the reconciliation efforts in the country. The South African president has further said that the support will be extended to successfully fulfill the reconciliation process in Sri Lanka.
USAID has agreed to extend an allowance for 48,000 low-income earning paddy farmer families this Yalla season. The relevant allowance will be extended for paddy farmer communities in 6 districts. Each family will receive an allowance worth of 30,000 rupees. Each low-income earning farmer family which cultivates less than 1 acre of paddy field will receive the allowance under 2 installments with 15,000 rupees for each. The relevant amount will be distributed among farmer communities in Mullathur, Vaunia, Trincomalee, Ampara, Batticaloa and Monoragala districts. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that each farmer family will receive 109,000 rupees as relief during the previous season, with the support of state and other international agencies. The minister pointed out that the farmer communities had not received such reliefs in previous seasons. The petitions filed requesting to issue an order citing that certain provisions in the draft bill on the Central Bank of Sri Lanka Amendment Act, presently tabled in the Parliament, are inconsistent with the Constitution, was taken up for hearing at the Supreme Court today.
The petitions were taken up for hearing before a three-member judge bench. The three-member judge panel is comprised of Justices Priyantha Jayawardena, Kumudini Wickramasinghe and Arjuna Ubesekara. 7 petitions against the Central Bank Amendment Bill were filed by several parties including MP Uday Gammanpila, Venerable Athuruliye Ratnathera and retired Army Colonel Anil Amarasekara. Representing the petitioners, President's Counsel Manohara De Silva informed the courts that several provisions in the draft bill are inconsistent with the Constitution. He pointed out that the amendment bill poses the threat of removing the central bank from the state authority. Therefore, the President's Counsel said that a 2/3 majority and a referendum are required to pass the draft bill in Parliament. The judge bench postponed the hearing until tomorrow.
State Minister Ranjit Siyambalapitiya says the highest taxes have been imposed on tobacco, liquor and casino sectors in the country. The State Minister made these remarks responding to a query raised by opposition leader Sajit Premadasa yesterday, claiming low tax rates have been imposed on cigarettes. The State Minister said that the taxes on cigarettes and tobacco-based products are at 70 to 75% of the selling rate. He said that the taxes imposed on BD amounts up to 33%, while the revenue taxes imposed on turnover of these businesses are at 40%. He further added that a tax of 90% has been imposed on the selling price of liquor. The revenue taxes imposed on the turnover of such businesses are at 40%. He pointed out that the decline in excise revenue for the months of January and February this year has resulted due to the exorbitant pricing of the products due to high taxation.
Now, employees of the Water Supply Board engaged in a protest action today based on several demands, including bonus allowances and holiday allowances. The relevant protest was organized in front of the Ministry of Water Supply. Accordingly, the employees refrained from engaging in their official duties today. They also refrained from engaging in services pertaining to breakdowns and maintenance activities. However, the employees attached to water pumping stations engaged in their duties on behalf of the public today and claimed that they will also be part of the protest action if their issues are not resolved. Now, a project to plant 10,000 saplings was commenced at Royal College, Colombo this morning.
The relevant project was initiated in line with the birth anniversary of President Ranil Wickramasinghe, which falls on tomorrow. The project was organized by the Leo Club of Royal College, Colombo. The project was launched with the participation of Chief of President's Staff Sagala Ratnayaka and Minister Susil Premajayant. They planted saplings at the school premises. Students representing schools in various parts of the country also took part in the program. Distribution of plants for those schools were also held in line with the project. And that's a wrap of local news. Stay tuned for foreign news after this short break.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න Big Max Fun Prima කොත්තුමි තියනකම්
Attention all 16 to 30-year-old twins. Exciting news. Miss and Mr. Twin Sri Lanka 2023 is approaching. Don't miss your chance to compete for the crown. Closing dates for registrations 25th March 2023. First audition is on April 2nd at PMICH. Contact Sri Lanka Twins Organization via WhatsApp at 070-464-4640. Start preparing for your shot at becoming Miss or Mr. Twin Sri Lanka 2023.
Welcome back on Foreign News. Indian opposition leader Rahul Gandhi has been sentenced to 2 years in prison in a criminal defamation case.
He was convicted by the court in Gujarat for comments about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's surname during an election rally in 2019. He was granted bail and his sentence was suspended for 30 days to let him appeal the decision. The Congress Party MP was present in court for sentencing, which comes a year before general elections are due. The criminal defamation case was filed against Gandhi after a speech during the 2019 general election in which he referred to the surname Modi and asked how all thieves have the surname. The case against him was filed on the basis of a complaint by Purnesh Modi, a lawmaker from India's governing Bharatiya Janata Party, who said that Gandhi's comments had defamed the entire Modi community. Gandhi said in court that he had made the comment to highlight corruption and not against any community. Some have claimed that they are puzzled by the order. Free speech advocates have often argued that the law is against the principles of freedom and that it is used by politicians to silence their critics. Now, oil prices fell today amidst concerns surrounding the US banking sector and worry over lower oil demand. Now, international benchmark Brent crude traded at $76.27 per barrel, a 0.55% decrease from the closing price of $76.69 a barrel in the previous trading session. At the same time, American benchmark West Texas Intermediate traded at $70.45 per barrel, a 0.63% fall after the previous session closed at $70.9 per barrel. The US Federal Reserve raised its benchmark interest rate Wednesday by another 25 basis points despite a banking crisis, which saw the sudden demise of 4 banks in a matter of weeks.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න ට්‍රීක් මැච් ෆන් ට්‍රීමක් ඔත්තුමි තියනකම්
Welcome back on Sports News. The 17th battle between DS Nayaka College and Mahanama College, Colombo will commence tomorrow at P. Sara Oval Stadium.
"15 previous encounters between the schools have ended in draws and DS Nayaka College has secured the victory on 1 occasion. DS Nayaka College will be led by Manura Piris, while the vice-captain is Gaviru Senhas. Head coach of the side is Dilshan Galketia. Meanwhile, Sachira Valivatta is leading the Mahanama College, Colombo. Anjana Bandara is the vice-captain of the side, while Nisal Vithanage is the head coach.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න ට්‍රීක් මැච් ෆන් ට්‍රීමක් ඔත්තුමි තියනකම් කොත්තුමි
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on ChannelEye. I'm Delanjali, together with Niket, signing off. Good night.
Good night.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It is with great pleasure that on the auspicious occasion of National Day of Pakistan, I am conveying a message of peace, harmony and best wishes to all Sri Lankans from the people and government of Pakistan. 23rd March 1940 is the most significant day in the history of Pakistan. On this day, the Muslims of South Asia launched their struggle for obtaining an independent homeland, Pakistan. Since our independence, despite several challenges, Pakistan has steadily progressed. The government of Pakistan, cognizant of the enormous national potential, has consistently pursued the country's journey to peace and prosperity through an elaborate social and economic development agenda. Sri Lanka is one of the first countries with which Pakistan established diplomatic relations. This historic relationship has nurtured into a strong friendship in 7.5 decades, as this year, 2023, marks the 75th year of friendship between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. It is a matter of great satisfaction that mutually beneficial relations rooted in history have become truly multidimensional, covering fields of public diplomacy, economy, defense and security, culture, education and sports, etc. I would take this opportunity to invite Sri Lankan investors to integrate themselves in the unfolding socio-economic revolution in Pakistan. It is an ideal opportunity for Sri Lankan entrepreneurs to explore new vistas of cooperation between the two countries. This will be bilaterally beneficial venture for both countries, especially given the need